Well, what's going on? Everybody, we're back. We are back on the farm. So what we're going to do today, I think we might do a... let me just get into the game here. So I think we're going to look at doing a contract job, maybe. Just looking here at the growth on our crop. We're still in the early stages, and I was just looking here. Of course, the field does need ploughing. I had some thoughts on that, so we'll get into that in a mo. Needs lime, of course, but there's no weeds, so that's all I'm worried about at the moment is the weeds. So I just want to keep that under control. Now, with the ploughing, I had a thought. So if we go here, and we have now, I thought, because what my idea was, as you would remember when it was time for us to buy the seeder, my initial plan was to buy this, the Kuhn subsoiler, and then also the Kuhn power harrows, and then get the Kuhn planter for the back. However, we needed a tractor that had a front 3-point linkage so we could have the seed box, but because we only have the feed over here, does not have a front hitch, and I'm pretty sure we can't spec it up to have a front hitch either. Let's have a look. No, just the wheels, and we can put GPS on it if we want to. So, of course, we could spec it up. We could trade in and get a different tractor, say here, the Fendt, for example, which has front 3-point linkage. What's the Valtra? Can we get front? That's a front loader. Wheel setup standard. Configuration standard. 500 kilo front weight standard. So we can't get the Valtra with a front 3-point. We can have, well, the Fendt here, of course, comes with front 3-point. So we could trade in the Fiat maybe for the Fendt, but the Fiat's got 150 horse. So, but yeah, anyway, long story short, that's what I wanted to do. However, I've had some thoughts of, look, maybe we could buy the Kuhn, for example, and also then get the power harrow. So then we could plough and cultivate, at least in one pass, our field, because I think, I mean, what's a plough worth? That's 13,000 for that. But if we look at the widths, okay, 2.5 meters, that's 2 meters. What do we need for that? 150 horsepower. So we could tow that, it's 2.5 meters. We can't do any of these, they're too big. But if we go back and have a look at the subsoiler here, like it's, you know, it says it can be used instead of a plough. Okay. So if we look at this one, 9,500, it's 4 meters width, 140 horsepower. So we could tow this with our tractor, as same as with the Kuhn here. It's 130 horse, it's 4 meters. Hey, what's going on, Matt? So that could be an option because this, the field here will need, because look, it's where, let's see, you know, it does need to be ploughed. So we will have to think of what we're going to do there. So I think that's what we might do. But first of all, we want to get a crop off it, and get some buckos and get some cash flow, get some money in, because we've spent. We haven't have harvested a crop, but we need to harvest another crop, I think, to get some money in. So we've got 49,000. We're not destitute farmers yet, anyway. But just bear with me for a second. I'm going to have a sip of my cup of tea out of my Audrey Hepburn vessel. Plough it up. Yes, I will plough it up at some point. Anyway, so we'll go over and have a look at our field. So this is our field, our paddock, whatever you want to call it. It's growing. which is good. And of course the growth's varying as we, the fertilised bit's varying as we walk around. See, it's 50%, 58, 60, 70, so it varies of course, but if we have a look at the growth, we're in the early stage of growth. Jobs and growth. Anyway, now I thought we might do a quick contract job. That maybe we could do a plough one. What field's field 9? That one. Is that the one that's the one we pretty much just harvested with the potatoes, isn't it? So there's sowing, field 21. So old mate wants potatoes. Field 21. How big's field 21? No, that's not that big. We could do that. What's old Squire giving us? 17,000. So field 21 with potatoes. Use your own equipment or lease equipment for a reward reduced by $624. Make sure you fill the tool with seeds. You know what? Let's do that. So we will borrow items. And we're going to do this job for old mate. So let's get into the Fergie. And then we'll put the Grimmy potato planter on the rear end. I wonder if this tractor has, let's see, if I do, whoopsie, I just got to unhook it for Mojo. Because I want to see if, no. I was like, oh, I wonder if it's got GPS. No. Refill. Yeah. Right, let's get going. Whoa, that's a bit rough. Actually, a friend of my brother's, because my brother's a farmer and a friend of his is a farmer too, and the particular farm that this friend used to work on, they had massive Fergusons. And at least the one they had, or the two, they had were absolute dungers. Breaking down all the time. They were total dungers. So they traded them both in. I think they've got New Hollands there now. So, where are we going? Field 21. So that's that one just there. Yeah, total. Yeah, absolute. They were total dungers. They were old, clapped out for like early 2000s numbers, but they weren't much chop at all. Geez, this is pretty wide, this. I didn't think she was going to be this wide. Whoops, can't see because of dem trees. G, no, what turns it on? That's down, let's go. Yeah, I know, it's reserved for a contract job, that's, Jesus. So we'll go up here and we'll leave a bit of room and then we'll hopefully sort of like in the middle of the paddock, we'll drive back up it and create a bit of a land there for us. And then we'll go back down and whatever else, so. Very good. Where my oh yeah, old Dodge trucks, yeah. I think the place where my brother is at the moment, they've got a Mitsubishi Express ute as to flog, as to run about. Something like, I suppose they were probably called Express maybe before they were called Triton. I mean, it's like late 70s, probably early 80s type of vehicle, I would assume. Should be no cruiser though. Oops. And also I think they've got like an old Holden as well. Monaro for the farm. Love it. Actually, this friend of my brother's, his mum used to have. Well, actually, I don't know if it was her car, but she rode off a SLR 5000 Tirana, allegedly. Green one. That's how the story goes. So, you know, she's probably, I don't know how long ago, like, obviously this was, you know, a while ago, but now that's like a couple of $100,000 car wrecked. And I think she crashed into a Ford. Like, coupe, one of the big ones. Like an XC or something coupe. Pranged it into one of them, I think. Look at this. This Harvester is almost empty. Sorry for Harvester. Plant is almost empty. We've done 2 runs. What a joke. We have to go back to the store and fill it up again. I tell you, I won't even get to the end here. No, she's done. 2%. 1%. We'll just keep going until it's completely empty, which will be pretty soon. We're not going to get to the end of this. I'll be shocked. No. Let's see. 40, 30, 20. And she's done. Right, well, we're going to have to go back to the shop and get more. I'll just buy a couple of pallets. Yeah, right. Pick all the crops in like 4 hours. Jeez. It's interesting how they have like obviously harvesters to harvest carrots, carrots and like onions, potatoes and that sort of stuff. But when it comes to harvesting broccoli, they still get people out to, like, backpackers come out, go to the farms and cut them and like harvest it like manually. They don't have a machine to do it. Right, let's see how far we can get with this. So the harvester planter is half full. Over half full. So we've got 51%. So we will go and we'll see how far this gets us. Hopefully further than 2 and like 3/4 runs on the paddock here. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Right, cool. So let's unfold this. And we will drive. Shouldn't drive on the crop like what I'm doing here, but whatever. Whatever, bruh. So we'll slow her up. On, down, go. We'll see how well we can go. Ooh. Yeah. Got a planter? Nah. Do it by hand. And got to earn your keep. That tree there's annoying. I'd cut it down, but you know, it's not my tree. Still a little bit of reversing here for Fergo. And just get it lined up a little bit better. So how many rows is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 7 row. This plant above the looks. It's pretty wide. If you had my love and it's because I'm Jennifer Lopez. Hopefully we can at least get this little bit done before we have to refill again. That'd be, you know, nice. Yeah, well that's true. I suppose back in the 60s, late 60s. Got hard labour. Hard labour governor. Geez, this tractor's done some, well, 65.9 hours. She's done some hours for this game, anyway. Like in real life, you'd be like, if a tractor's done 5,000 hours, you'd be like, she's done some work. Excuse me, a place, well, my voice has just gone. There's one of the farms my brother worked on. He worked on it for quite a while. They used to have John Deere. John Deere's there. They had about 4 tractors. And like every 2.5, 3,000 hours, they'd trade her in. Hold on, I'm just going to turn this microphone a little bit. I'm back. Well, I'm back. There we go. That sounds better. Sorta, kinda. Yeah, so they used to have John Deere's and they'd trade in their tractors. They'd be like 2.5, 3,000 hours. So they'd probably have that for 3 years maybe. 3 or 4 years. Really. I suppose it really depended. Yes, it did depend. Dependent? Is that even a word? It used to depend, of course, on how much use they were getting. They had a tractor I used to just do, like plough with, so like a big one, or bigger one, they used to just plough with, so that didn't get as many hours on the other tractors that would be used daily. So that'd stick around a little bit longer, for example, but there's the old John Deere. But they had like 2 farms, so when you're like, wow, I've got 4 tractors, that's a lot of tractors. But when they used to do hay, when hay season was on though, they'd have one that would have the mower on it all the time, and one that would have the baler, and one would tow a rake. The big one usually would tow hay rake, and then they'd have one that, if they were doing silage, would have the bale wrapper on the back of it, and then they'd like unhook the wrapper and then use that to load and move the bales and stack them. So they always used to get worked like in that context. So, well, we're making okay progress here, which is good. We've been able to do a couple of runs without having to stop. We will have to refill again, probably reasonably soonish. Hopefully we can get this. I don't know if we'll be able to get this gap in between these 2 runs here done. Do you reckon that's about half the field? I reckon it probably is. I was very concerned. No, I was considering actually just buying enough seed to fill the planter here up 100% and just go. And you know, having to buy seeds going to hurt our bottom line. But, oh well. We might make 10 grand on this job. I don't know. Well, we had about 50-ish, I suppose, before we started. 49 or something. So if we can make, it's a 17 grand job. So equipment And seed, well, say it costs us 7,000, we'll make 10, hopefully. Hopefully we can make a little bit of dollary doughs on this, which should be good. If you I reckon, what do we reckon? Down and back up, maybe? And that should fill this gap in. I reckon. Yeah, down and up again, it should be done this. So that'll be good. And then I don't know if I'd say that this is half of the field that we've done. But it would be probably close to. Which is good. Now let's be mindful as well of our own field, because I don't want too many weeds to start getting in there, because then that'll hurt our yield, of course. What it'll be. Let's turn the big rig round here at the end. Whoops. Right, I want to go back down. And yeah, there might be a little gap between the rows. Oh no, that should be wide enough to get that strip at the middle. We'll just sort of see what happens here. It looks like we're not missing anything on that left side, which is good. I mean, even though this isn't our field, we still want to do a good job on it. We don't want to, half it. We want to do a decent planting job. Alright, we'll have enough seed to come back up, hopefully. Should do. So that's going okay, which is good. Up, hopefully. We might have to go back down. We might not have enough to go back down on that other edge, which would be a bit annoying. 18%. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll turn around here the best we can. I want to be turning that way. Yep. Well, there's birds on there, the buggers. And then we'll go up here. Look at that. We'll fill this row in. We've missed a little bit there, which is a little bit annoying. On the right hand side there, as we're just driving past now, we've missed a little strip, but oh well. Is what it is. So I'll get back up here and go back down. Try and come back up. We'll have to go and get some more product though, I dare say. Right. Now let's see. We have done. I'd say we've done probably nearly half of this, which is pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll drive down here, and then we'll come up on that left there, like on the side we've already planted. Hopefully we can get down to the end here without running out of product, and then I'll just do the remainder of what we've missed on the way up, because we're going to have to go and fill up again. So Hopefully we can get to the end here without running out. If it's too low, I might just go to the shop and get some more seed. Hmm. Well, I've got to go back up that end. No, we'll turn around, we'll sink it and go back up. Right. Audio gov. So, and we've missed a little bit there too. I think that's probably just because of the ground. Because I'm sure I had the... or maybe I've done something like I've just done there. I've sort of had to sit for... Oh, no, it's got all of it there. I don't know what the problem was with that little bit we've missed, but... Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We're getting most of it down, which is the main thing. So... it'll be 6%. It'll be close if we get to the end of, you know, it'll be interesting to see how close we can get to the end of the field here before it empties out. I don't reckon we're going to get to the end. Oh, we might do. Ah, yeah, surely we'll make it. Yep, easy. Okay. Awesome. Right, we're going to turn this off and we're going to go to the shop and get some more seed. How can we get out of here? Just here. But before we do, let's just check things. So, well, we've done 60%, so that's good. Now, while I'm here, we'll just have a look at... Good, our field's still got no weeds on it. Which is the main thing I'm concerned about. It's still in only stage 1 though, of growth. So when we do this job, I'll put the time up. So actually I could probably have it on times 5 maybe, or times 15 while we're doing that job. And I'll go and get... I'll get 2 more pallets like we did before. I think that's probably the most sensible thing. Seed bags, pig food, seed big bag, $900 for 1,000. 900 for 1,000. I mean that's better value. So we get 2 of them. And we'll refill that. While I'm here, now there is a yeah, I should have a look. There is a key bind, I'm sure, to change this, but I am just not sure what it is. I could probably have checked just then, but hey, what are you gonna do? I'm lazy. Right, 54%. That should hopefully... Wow. Just take that stop sign. Yeah, let's get in the cab. That should be more than enough to get us to the end of this. Whoa, wowza. I would suggest... Can we go in there? Oh, we probably could drive in there, but we'll go in this proper, half proper driveway here. And we will go down this one here, because why not? wonder how much horse this tractor is. What is it? It's a Ferguson 7722. Let's have a look. Let's go tractors. Is it a medium? Let's see. Ferguson 7700. Yeah. So 7722. 240 horse. How much is that? 191 thou. Could be an option for us when we need to upgrade the Fiat. So I'm just wondering, like, should we be, when it comes to the tractors, should we be loyal to like any particular brand? I'm thinking I might get a Valtra, something different. I think I might look at getting a Valtra when it's time to get a new tractor. I think because the feed's 150 horse, so that's decent. So I think next tractor, like, purchase will be one that is probably 200 horse, 250, or just a little toy for around the yard with a loader on it. If we need to do any loader work, but I suppose if we need to do any loader work, we could just buy like a Bobcat or something like that. Or skid steer, as some people call them. So that could be an option for us. But there is a DLC. There is a mod coming. Retro 80s John Deere. And I'm pretty keen to get that, so that could be an option for some cheap grunt for us if we want a tractor to tow, cultivator or plough or something, and that's like its job. Might look in the getting something like that, but of course it'll depend on what our needs will be, of course, moving forward. But yeah, but our next goal really is to get field 19 and get field 20, and expand our land ownership. That's the next goal, I think, really. And how big? Sorry, how much does cost? How much does cost? That's not even words. I'll have a look in the mode to see how much, like, 20 will cost, and 19, I think they're about 200 something thousand each. I think 19 might be cheaper than 20, because 20 has the farmyard with it, so yeah, we will see. Excuse me. I reckon we should hopefully be able to have this done pretty soon. So it's not going to be too long of a job, luckily. So I'll come back up on that right hand side of where this strip now, I reckon, and then back down, and we'll sort of loop it round. So 41.5, so we started about 49, so this job's cost us $8,000 already. Wow. I don't know if we get any money back if we, say, return the planter with product still in it. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get a little bit. We'll get some money. It's probably going to take us back up to where we were, so we'll be net, like, we'll be nowhere really once we calculate our losses into it, and whatever else will be, our gain will be minimal. So, oh well, bit of fun, gives us something to do, doesn't it? Put a marker out. Be interesting. Whoops, we don't want to do that. So the idea of the markers here is that you have it out, and of course, as you can see, the disc there is creating a line. So what you do, obviously, is when you're in tractor, when you're in the tractor, you line up, see on the hood, the bonnet there, it's got that little silver sort of bonnet ornament. What you would do is because that's the center of a tractor, you would line that up with that mark that the markers made off of the planted, and drive down. So theoretically, you won't have any overlap or have any gaps or anything like that. That's like the mechanical way to do it if you don't have any satellite or GPS on your tractor. So you would do that. You'd have your marker down. It would create the line of a mark, and then of course when you go back up that row, you drive up on the mark to hopefully sort of, you know, can I make this as wide as it can be? Let's try and stretch this planter out to maximum width. We might not have to come back up here. Yeah, so you would drive down the line that the scrape that the marker has made. So then you theoretically don't have any overlap or anything like that. It's just you know, a bog standard way of doing your field planting. It if you don't have GPS set up on your tractor, which some of them can be quite expensive. I know the John Deere, the Green Star one, apparently is pretty expensive because you've got to pay obviously for the setup on the tractor, but then you have to wow, words. If you want to use it, you have to pay a subscription to be able to use the satellite, which is, I'm not sure how much it costs, but it's not cheap. Whereas I know that I think you can get a Teagle. Is it called Teagle? Oh, I've completely gone blank. Anyway, but there is another brand which I think might come on New Holland and Case, because they don't have their own setup. Theirs is done by like a third party sort of brand, but that one's apparently a lot more affordable than than what the John Deere Green Star setup costs. I don't know what it's worth on the other brands. That said, the John Deere one apparently, even though it is the most expensive, it is quite good. It is very good, even though it is the most expensive one. It is. It's probably the best, but you know, you've got to obviously pay for it. So you pay that John Deere premium. It's a bit like buying a Toyota. I think buying a John Deere, it's just it costs that little bit more. You got the Toyota tax if you buy a Toyota, or you got the Deere tax, I think, if you buy a John Deere. But of course, that said, you know, it comes down to you get what you pay for. But there is a little bit more variety of machines getting around in our area, in our sort of farm area, or if you go out where the farms are, the country. There is a little bit more variety. You know, the John Deere dealer we have is very good, but you know, the local Case dealer has gotten a lot better over the last couple of years, and somewhere we've got somewhere sells New Holland as well, and they're pretty decent. So so there is some other brands of machines getting around. Of course, you'll always have the farmers that have their brand. You know, they'll always have a New Holland, or they'll always have a John Deere or whatever. But some of the places or some of the farms that farms might, I don't want to use the word flip, but it might not be quite so hardcore dedicated on any particular brand. They're sort of changing away, trying a couple of different things, I suppose. So this will probably bring us close to completing this job. We'd go up here, we might have to come back down this strip here in the middle because it is pretty wide, but we'll be pretty close and we should hopefully be able to get it done enough to get 100%, hopefully. Because these jobs are usually you actually don't have to, you know, do the whole lot. So I'll stop, I'll turn around here and I will just see what the percentage is at on the job. So we'll drop that, get that ready to go. Oh, it's completed. Cool. So, yeah, we made about 10,000 on that job, which is okay. Get off the train. Right, now let's have a look at our field. We'll have a look here. Mid-stage growing. It probably has some weeds, which it does. So, we will fire up the big rig. And we will put onto this, which has got herbicide on it, which is what we want. So this is borderline maxed out for this tractor. In real life, I probably wouldn't put that sprayer on this tractor without any front weights on it, but whoa, see, look at that, just might have went up a bit. I wonder, in the cab here, this doesn't look like it's got a hand, oh, no, it might have a handbrake on it. Because you got that little red lever there. Not sure. Anyway, we'll scoot around here. Look at that, weeds. Delicious weeds. Right, well, we'll get in here and we will spray this out. Unfold this. And we'll spray this out. So, just want to make sure this left side of the boom here is not too far over. Because we obviously want to be as efficient as we can with our product. We're going to miss probably a little bit of stuff, but there will be some gaps because I'm not that good. I had the GPS mod. Had the GPS on the tractor here, it'd be okay because we wouldn't miss anything, but we don't, so we have to do it the old way, the best way we can. Actually, what I should have done is what I'm about to do. So we'll do this, we'll turn that off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive along the top here. So then we have an area to turn around. Should be a little bit easier. So we don't have to worry about the hill there, for example. So we'll go along here. So hopefully we've got enough product to hopefully do this without any issue. I'll turn that off. And then we'll spin around. Like this. And we will then roll down here. Right, let's go. Whoop. Beautiful. And because the field at the bottom here, is that square? It is. I was going to say we could turn and go around it and back up to where we started, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter much. Right. Also, I might actually just drive along the bottom as well. So we've done the edges, so we can like turn around in the paddock rather than having to worry about getting in the way of cars or having to fold up the boom, for example, while we're at the ends here. So we might do that. So we'll go that, turn that on, go bruh. Cobra. Just watch that edge there. Someone's getting a concrete job though. Looks good. And we'll just finish that off. We'll square that. Beautiful. Excellent. So now we can go up and down. So we probably only have to go... might be 3 runs. I'm not really sure. This is good at least because I can see the darker bits here, of course, where we haven't been. So I can see the edges a lot easier. So I can drive a bit more closer to the edge here on the left and try and get maximum width off of the spray rig. Off of the boom. So, look at that, we can turn around here. So we'll have to go down and, yeah, back up again by the looks. Excuse me. Yeah, let's go back up. Unfortunately, doesn't matter, it is what it is. At least we're not using a lot of chemical. So, and a little bit of that. Cool. Turn that off. Spin a ling ding. And then we'll just go up here. And do this, and she's all sprayed out, which is good. So I think what we might do when we finish the harvest, I think we might we'll spread it. We'll get some lime, so we might buy a spreader. Depends, I suppose. We'll have a look at a spreader anyway. We might put some lime on it and then plough it. So I'm not sure. It will depend on our finances. Because the field needs lime and also does need to be ploughed. So if we do both of those things, it'll, it increases yield looking after your, doing proper maintenance on your field like that. So most definitely something to look into. Also, I think something that we should probably look into getting is a well, we want a shed and some storage and all that jazz, of course, but also placeable, refillable areas, so we don't have to keep buying pallets from the shop. I think that's also something worth looking into. We'll turn the tractor off. The big rig, the 1300 DT. I wonder what the DT stands for. Look at that battery. She's a monster. Or we can recycle it. It's interesting because our feet, the battery goes in the front here. Well, don't know if it's actually where it's supposed to go. The battery goes in the front. And I wonder, see, this is, I don't know, that looks like an alternator, right, to me. Ours, apparently, according to the book, my manual I've got, says that it should have a generator, not a manual. Anyway, the rear end, she's got some hydraulics. There's a good tractor, that. I like it. Four-wheel drive. Cab's average. But anyway, and we've got the Stara. I'm pretty happy with this purchase as well. I think it's a pretty decent buy. Because it's no till as well, so we don't have to actually worry about ploughing or cultivating. But I think we might get the plough, and we might get the rotary power harrow as well. I think that could be something worth looking into. Whoops. Hitting the microphone there. Worth looking into for sure. For us. So, no more weeds, which is good. Needs lime, as we can see. What are we in sort of for second? Well, we're still sort of first grow stage, in between the first and the second growing stage, I would suggest. So we could do another contracting job while we're waiting. Transport items from the castle to the gas station. Fertilising. Ooh, and the big fertiliser. Sowing. Interesting to use this with the front hopper. Cultivating, harvesting, that, fertilising, that. I don't really want to get in on like a harvesting job because they take a while. Also, would baling ones would too. We'll go back here to this. So there's not really much going on, is there? Not much happening on the farm currently. What I might do is we'll just put that time on the 60. I might get some things happening a little bit faster, which will be good, won't it? What's that that's flashing? I haven't accepted a job, have I? Port Northwest, what's going on there? Oh, they got a demand, have they, on wheat? Well, we don't have any. So, shocker. Oops. I'm being antisocial here. I'm just having a look at heap of messages. Well, not a heap, but, a few texts and whatnot. Right. Get back under the stream chat here. Yeah, so not a whole lot going on, is there? But what we can do is have a look to see how much that's going to cost us 170, 180 for that, and that does include the farmyard. But anyway, these two, actually 2019 and 18, I think, are really what we want to get. I'm just wondering what really is going to be the best value for us to buy straight away. Really, probably Field 18, because that looks bigger to me. Out of the 2019 and 18, Field 18 looks the biggest. 19 and then 20, because if we're looking at the money, 180,000 for this, that's 174, and then 180 for that. It's only a small field, but we do have the farmyard as well. But I don't know. But anyway, I think these are our next three. So we'll have those three plots. We'll have field 27. You know, field 28 could be a buy soon, and then I think 29, and then we'll start to go over here. So I want to keep it reasonably like square. I don't want to have like, say, that field buy 20 and then like buy field 12, so they're all spread out. I want to try and keep them reasonably centered. So, you know, we'll get 18, 19, 20, and then we could look at getting 28, maybe 26, and then sort of 29, 30, and then, you know, 26, 25, and then 17. And then 22. So we'll sort of have this package, as it were. So actually, I should do a calculator. Get the calculator to see how much all this would cost us. But I think, yeah, one of these three will be the next purchase, I think. Anyway, we don't have enough money, but I got 60,000 in the kit. So it's going to be a slog to get there. But, wow, total. We're down. We're down a lot. But, so we can only borrow $5,000 at a time, which is a bit of a shame. New vehicles, sold, buildings, sold land. Haven't sold any land. Sold wool, sold milk, sold, yeah, fertilizer. Harvest income. Well, we made 25 grand on our harvest, which I don't think's too bad. Really. Seed costs, that's a lot. Oh, well, we did buy seed for the job. Didn't we? Yeah. Anyway. That's not good. We need to get some green happening. Get some profits, bruh. Alright, so that's sort of second stage of growing by the looks. Let's have a look here. No. No. I think if we do a harvest job. I think if we do a job, it could probably just be something easy like ploughing or whatever, because it'll keep our costs down. We don't have to buy, or we won't have to buy seed. Or we could do a transport. We could use, theoretically, our own trailer. We get $2,000 if we do that. 3,000 for that one. Yeah, let's give this a go. Accept contract. So we'll get into the tractor. We'll get our trailer on. So we need to transport stuff. Oh, come on, reverse. Jeez. There we go. So we need to transport from Castle Hotel to the gas station. So from here to there, at least that's pretty close. We can just go up that road there, get up to the castle. So, which would be good. Hopefully, we shouldn't need a loader. I wouldn't have thought to load anything on, so we'll take the tractor and the trailer up. It didn't say that we needed a loader or anything, did it? So, look at that delicious crop coming along. Right, well, we'll take the big rig up the hill. It's going to take a while, probably, to get up here. And then over to the fuel station. Whoa. So we can just go straight on there, can't we? So up here. Depends how much stuff we need to move. I don't know. Hopefully we don't have to do too many trips. If we've got to move like 10,000 tons or whatever of stuff, like, getting up this hill. At least we don't have to tow the trailer full of stuff up this. That'd be a pain in the squadron. So anyway, it's a nice drive. Hopefully our crop's not like, yeah, I want to be harvested right now while we're doing this job. Maybe I could turn the time scale, just slow it up maybe a little, just so we don't get caught out. Yeah, doesn't matter, I can get the harvester over in the field anyway and put this time scale back, so I don't think that'll be too much for drama. We might just leave it. But it'd be nice to have a day where we don't have negative out in the finances. Would it? So we're a long way off our goal on the farm of making $1 million net profit. But oh well. Because, well, we haven't made a profit at all yet, so a while off making $1 million. But once we've made our first profit for the day on the accounts, we'll take note of it and we'll make a note of it, write it down or something, and we'll just slowly plug away on making that $1 million net profit. Right, can the tractor even get up this hill? It can. Well, it's like it's maxed out. It's going as fast as it can, but it still feels like it's going a bit slow, but oh well. Right. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Move these pallets, we can't pick them up and we can't put them on our trailer. That's... And here I was thinking, maybe we can just, turn up, put some gear, in our trailer and go, but whoops, that is a bad... Oh, that's not a very good reverse job, is it? Is that wheel turned as far as it can go? The turning circle on this is average. We'll just float around here, up on that kitchen bench, park bench. Oh, well, that's a bust then, isn't it? We don't have a loader or anything to shift these pallets, and we can't lift them up, they're too heavy. Oh, well. I don't think we get penalised if we cancel this job. Do we? Are you sure you want to cancel? You will lose payment. Yes. Failed. Anyway. Stuff's still growing. And it's still clear of dem weeds, which is good. So anyway, let's get back down here. Get back down to the farm then. And have a sulk, because that was a bust. They're like, oh, yeah. Transport job, we can do that. Apparently not. So, well, actually, hold on. Let me have a look here. Let's see. Harvest fertilizer. Sowing. Transport. Transport items from Farmer Hans to the supermarket. See. Lime Station Shop. Grain. Where's Farmer? Oh, well, it's just from a farmer to the supermarket. So where's the supermarket? That's probably grain shop spinnery. You know what? I don't think we're going to do another transport job until we have a loader. Because I thought, oh, well, it's going to be like shifting grain or something like that. But plot twist? Nah. Which is a bit of a bust. But oh, well, if it was a weeding job, maybe we could do. We'll just get our tractor down here, park her up again. I'll keep the trailer on it because we'll need that. We'll need it on. We will need the trailer on. Before you know it. So. Wow, this is soberingly slow, let me tell you. This is exciting, isn't it? I'll tell you what, things are going to heat up in just a moment coming down this hill. Okay, maybe not. I was like, oh, we're going to go thundering down here. But, nah. Pretty average, that, actually. Down there now. Oh, well, there's our yard, so we're almost back, which is good. Right. Actually, we might park the tractor here at the field. Let's do that. Because we're going to need it over here, so we may as well just park it up here anyway. We'll at least need the trailer here, so we may have to do another spray job on this crop. Weeds at 0%, which is good, and we can see the dead ones in there. So we may have to do another spray job on this field. Needs ploughing, needs lime. I know it needs ploughing, and I know it needs lime. So we're in the third stage of growth. So, but you know what? Yes, I know I failed. Field 11. What one's field 11? That one. This looks odd, doesn't it? In the... Oh, yeah, it could be an option. Spraying. Nah, because we have to buy a chemical, you see. Fertilising, weeding. Ha. I wonder if we could just borrow that and use our tractor. Fertilising, harvest, baling. You know, we might do. I think we're going to do this cultivate job. It's only $1,000. Well, we'll get 900. Actually, no, we'll get less than that. Yeah, you know what? It'll give us something to do. So we'll do this. Just while we're waiting on our field really to be ready. She's not far off. So this will be, hopefully... What's going on? I thought I accepted that job, obviously not. Borrow. Yes. Accept. Your farm already has an active contract. Do we? What? Oh, is it this? Because we failed this. Right. I getcha. But we want to do this job. Let's just check our field. Looks good. Whoopsie. Here we go. Look, that's we're in the Ultra, which is what I think we might get when it's time to get some big gear. Get a Volti. This is like basically we're doing a demo, right? And I guess this cultivator here, the Vedastat, looks pretty tasty as well. So we have to go to field 11, if I remember correctly. So it's not that far away, short drive, and it looks pretty narrow. So it's probably only going to be like up, down, maybe. I don't know how wide this cultivator is, but it might be just up, down a couple of times. It should be done. It should be good. Quick job. We won't get much money, but gives us something to do. While we're waiting for our field to grow, I could crank up the time a bit more, but I think it's okay as it is. Now we need to go to field 11, so we'll go through the farmyard. So we need to go to this one just up here, pretty much. It doesn't need to be cultivated, it looks ready to go. We're doing field 11, yeah. This one just here. Ah. It's not ready to go. Anyway, we'll get here, we'll unfold this bad boy. Drop it. Let's go. It's a pretty decent setup, this would be nice. I'd have re-joules though, I reckon, on this tractor. It's the only thing I'd do, is have re-joules on it. Oh, and I'd install the GPS mod. But apart from that, I'd probably keep it as it is. I would actually, or maybe get rid of the front hitch. Get rid of the front 3-point linkage off it as well, maybe. We're tearing this up, doing 16 Ks. It's about the speed you want to go when you're cultivating like this. Speed tillers. Right. A lot of places will just have a cultivator like this with the discs on it, and like a disc cultivator, and or multi-disc as they're more commonly known as, instead of like actually running a plough. So you might see like what's happening here, for example. This has been harvested, this field obviously by the logs, and then you just run the disc over it, like the cultivator disc, and then you'd probably drill straight into this ground without having to do anything else. You know, usually you'd have your harvest, then you'd plough it with a disc plough probably. It's pretty popular around here. Just use a set of offset discs, and then you would cultivate it with a tined cultivator. Maybe, depending, you might run a smudge over it or a set of harrows just to level things off a little bit more. And then you would then put the crop in, so that you'd then drill it in with your seed drill. But now, because this is sort of a lot of places they'll run over with a disc like this instead of like it's a more of a one pass solution rather than having to work your paddock, so 2 or 3 times. And also I've seen you can get discs, like these disc setups. Smaller ones, like 3 metre ones, 4 metre, like linkage mounted ones with a seed box on them. So we could be, like, theoretically, if this wasn't as big, of course, just be going straight in, one pass, crop in, with this sort of setup. And it also keeps compaction down because you're running over your field a lot less, so you don't have to do anything like worry about ditches or even having to run a ripper or anything over your field. Ooh, excuse me, so got the hiccups slightly. Stop here, lift that up. Okay, here, we'll go back down this other side. I probably should have driven down like the middle of the field so the gap isn't this big, but oh well, doesn't matter. We're getting the job done. So I wonder how much actually this, because I was just swooning over this tractor, I wonder how much it costs. So have a look at it. It's a Valtra. I think they're Polish Valtras. I think they're from Poland. I'm not 100% sure. I think, yeah, Poland they're from, the Valtras, so. But they are owned by the same company that owns Massey Ferguson and Fendt as well. So it's probably their, I don't know, platform sharing, or they might let them sort of run reasonably independently. They probably all sort of share similar engines, I'm not really sure. If the Valtras here have like their own Valtra built engine. Same as with Fendt, I'm not sure if they have like their own sort of Fendt built engines in them or not. Massey Fergusons don't, they have, I think, Perkins engines in them. But they have had, I think, Perkins for a long time, so that's not really a new concept. Great to Bandit to Spinnery. Well, if we had some sheepies, we could flog them all our wool, couldn't we? So let's have a look at this tractor. It's a Valtra. Should have a number on the. They usually have numbers on the front of them. At least smaller ones do. Oh well, it'll tell us when we get in it, won't it? S374. So I guess it's 374 horse. So I'll have a look here. Valtra. S3. So this is the one we're driving. It's 317,000. It's got 400 horse. So if we have a look at this Fendt, 396. That's 317,000. How much was the Valtra again? No, same money, actually, but not really any difference. What about the John Deere? 245. We'll go 490. 351. So the John Deere's a bit more. How about the New Holland? We'll go 380. It's Well, New Holland's cheap. 297,000 for the Newie. Wheel setup standard, weights, wides, jewels all round, rear twins for track, no, standard. I don't know. I want to get some value for money, of course, when we go tractor buying, but we're not going to be buying a tractor for a while, but to see what we can get for our money, really, I suppose, when it comes to the engine horsepower. See if it, like, just looking there, the Valtra, New Holland and the Fendt were all reasonably similar money for similar horse, but the John Deere was a bit more, so probably wouldn't buy that because it's not quite as better value. The New Holland there was cheaper, but it had 15 less horsepower than the Valtra here, but it was about $20,000 less also. But, something to consider, that's for sure, when we come and buy a tractor. But I would like to have at least a little bit of excuse me, some sort of tractor brand continuity. So I don't want to have like a John Deere, a Case, a Valtra, a New Holland, like have one of every tractor. I think have a little bit of continuity between both brands. So that crop up there, I reckon she's probably not that far off being ready. So hopefully, at least next time we play, we'll be able to get that harvested. That'll be nice, and we can start to then probably get some lime on it and plough it, I think. It's starting to get dark, so we'll turn some lights on. Wow, it's all of a sudden gotten very dark. Oh, it's okay. Turn around, rise. I don't know. I'll have to look, of course, on our field to see if we need to spray it again. If any more, weeds have cropped up. We want to get rid of them as soon as possible, but I don't want to be spraying during the night. Or when it's dark, it's better to do it during the day and I can see where we've been and that sort of stuff a little bit easier. Oh my, it's hot. I'll go for that. Good stuff. Beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Great. Alright, lift her up. Go down. There's a very good chance that when I'm finished here, I'm going to get on YouTube and search up, like, tractor videos. Yeah, look at, various stuff. I might have a look at some Valtra videos, actually. Mildly partial, honestly, to the Valtra. I don't know why. Never driven one. Never really seen one. I think there's a couple about, but I haven't really seen a heap. Don't know anybody who's operated one, but they're probably actually garbage, but not too bad. I don't think. Anyway, what do we reckon? 3 more runs, probably. If I was doing this properly and didn't have this left wing of the cultivator here pretty much overlapping what we've already done, we'd probably do this easy in the next. We've got 1 or 2 more runs, but I'll get it lined up properly at the other end when we come back down. So we're doing minimal passes. might be doing, back. Yeah. At least, I mean, if we get overlap and stuff, it's not really a concern when you're cultivating or ploughing. But if you're planting, of course, you want to have your overlap to minimum because you don't want to be wasting seed on an overlap. Anyway, nearly done. Be down back up probably. We've probably finished the job anyway. I'll check when we get to the end here how much we need to do, as in when it comes to percentage. Because the old game, when you did a contract job, it would be like, it would tell you, oh, you've finished, it would come up on the screen, but I don't think this has a notification or anything on the side, so I have to check the thingy. So let's have a look at it. And we're in the final stage of growing. And we're weed free, which is good. Let's have a look at our contract. 91%. So we probably need to just go back. We probably just need to drive down here. We'll probably be done. In all honesty. We've done 91% for jobs, so. And what I'll do is I'll just ease over here so we can get maximum width. Try and get a maximum sort of width work on this cultivator. That might help us a little bit. It's getting a little bit extra percentage on the job. I don't know if you get a time bonus. I know on the other farm sim, was it 17? You would get a time bonus if you finished a job within, because you had like, well, jobs had time limits. On this, it's sort of you do a job and you can finish it whenever. But the job contract on Field 11's finished. There we go. So we'll park up. The Voltra complete. We're going to collect. Going to go back. Right, this is. She's not far off. It'd be good actually. It says there growing. It'd be good if it said how far along like the growth is. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the harvester over. Because why not? I'll drive her up here ready. And I'll probably go around the outside, well, when the crop's ready, of course. We'll go around the outside, maybe thrice, maybe 2 or 3 times. Just so at the ends there's ample room to turn around. Because the AI love to take, if I'm honest, more than enough room to turn around. So what we're going to do is we'll drive up the end here and we'll cut across the top. We'll go around. And then once we're back up here, we'll just go straight back to it. But we're not quite ready to start harvesting yet. We'll just park the harvester up the hill. If it's even going to get up here. Oh, yeah, she will. Of course it will. It's a New Holland. And we'll just... whoops, park it up. Cool, so I'll get rid of that. She's in the green on the growth, and we're not gonna, no more weed problems, which is good, so. You must only have to deal with weeds, I suppose, once. Not really sure, actually. Excuse me. Now, I wonder, wow, my voice is just gone. Excuse me. Right, I'm back. So this is what we've got. We've got the New Holland. 56,000 litre capacity. I wonder what our next upgrade's going to be. Probably the Fergie. Because that can hold 8.6. The John Deere 10. Ross Damash 105. 141. Sorry, for the S790. 14.4. 14.5. 70. This could be like the Goal Harvester, getting the Agco one here. Which I was going to say, I think it's a Fendt. Yeah, design. Fendt, Fergie. We might go with the Fendt one. Any difference in price? No. Engine setup. Costs a bit more. We're not going to buy that, no. What about the New Holland here? It's got no options to go for GPS on it, that's it. Anyway, we've got some options. Go for John Deere maybe, go for Case, don't know, we'll see. We're nowhere near that at all, but I do like to, you may have noticed, I do like to just get on here and look at the gear to see, where we're at. Is this ready to go? It's got to be close. Not quite. I reckon if we crank this up to 60, it won't take long and she'll be ready to go. And I might just go around the outside. A couple of times, at least twice. And then I might call it a day, if I'm honest. So I'll be able to get a little bit of capital going, which is all right. So anyway, we'll just go up here to look. We'll get the harvester unfolded, which it is. We're primed. We're ready. We're waiting. Which is fun, isn't it? Playing the waiting game. We're just waiting here for the crop to be ready. So it shouldn't be too long, because we are on the last stage of growth. So it'll come along. Hopefully soon. Don't know. Now, actually, because we want lime, we'll need a spreader. So that can do... you see, only the big ones can do lime by the looks. So we might have to borrow one of them, lease it. I don't know if we could really buy one. 18,950. That's 10. And 14,000. Oh, the crop's ready. Right, so we'll go back here and we'll just put that back to real time. We'll save that. We'll go back to here. She's most definitely ready to go. Harvester on. Harvester on. Let's go. So we'll just go around the outside here. It really just these top bits, because this top part of the field and the bottom bit, of course, because we want enough room really for the halves to be able to turn around, because of this hill here, and the AI can't turn around without using like 20 metres of space. It becomes a bit tricky, so. And hopefully we can get a good bit of crop. I'll have to see where the best place to sell this is as well, where we're going to get the best price for our harvest. And we'll just sell it. Because, well, we don't really have any storage, but at least, this early stage, we've got the one field, we don't have any other income, so we've got to sell, basically, everything we harvest, so. We don't have the luxury of being able to wait for shortages and all that sort of stuff, so we've got to sell. that's flooding the market. But at least when we get another field, we could have another crop in there, so we could have a little bit of a rotation. So this one's got canola in it. So if we had field 20, for example, we could have a cereal crop in there, barley or wheat or something like that, oats maybe. And then we just have a little bit of a rotation. But I think when we progress, well, this is, it's going to take us a while to get there, but I think when we progress sufficiently, I'd like to sort of break the farm up into sections. So say maybe fields 1 through to 5 right up the top there is where we could have, say if we, for example, wanted to do cotton, say at one point. I mean, they could just be the cotton fields up there, and maybe we could, because you don't want to double crop either, so maybe we could rotate that with, say, corn, for example. And then we could take the corn to, I don't know, the biogas, maybe, right? And then, say, sort of, 8, 9, well, we'll say 6 through to 10, where those fields are. Maybe that's where we could have our root crops, so potatoes and sugar beets, and we can just rotate between them. And sort of where we are now, what have we got? The rest of field, so that'd be 11, 14, that block. 24, 32, 23, 30, 31, etc. And then the ones where we are now, we could just rotate through the cereal crops. I don't know. That's a long way off. Really, it's just so we're not driving and having to transport big equipment to various parts of the map. So I think if say, for example, we did rotate between, like we'll say, corn and cotton, fields 1 to 5 could be, like we could just, once we got a cotton harvester, really just build a shed and park it, and it could stay up there, and also a forage harvester. I mean, they can just stay up there with a planter and whatnot, and all we'd have to do really is just drive a tractor up there, and then when it's harvest time, just get a truck and trailer up there, so we don't have to worry about transporting huge big harvesters on the roads as well, and that'll save us a little bit of time if we've got equipment in. If we're going to say a particular part of that's got to specialise in a particular crop or focus on a particular crop, then we can have just keep the gear that's needed to harvest, those specific crops in that area, if that makes sense, in that particular area of the map. I just want to keep, sort of transport and that sort of things to a minimum. So I don't want to have, like we'll have like a cotton crop or potato crop or whatever on field 1 where we need a specialised harvester, then also have another crop of that on field 15. Because we'd have to get the harvester from field 1, like, pretty much across the road, like, all the way across the map, so I think that'd be something that's too tangible for us in the future. And look, anyway, as I said, that is a long way off, but probably not necessarily bad things to sort of be pondering in this early stage, so we can think about and slowly start to plan out how we're going to manage that sort of thought process early in the game. Anyway, we're nearly halfway, so I think actually, I think we'll finish around the outside of this field, and we will go until we've got a full load on the harvester here and dump it in the trailer, and then I think we'll wrap it up, and then we'll finish our harvest. Next time, we'll do something with some lime, I think, and plough this. We might just, instead of buying a plough, we might just lease one. I don't know. But that said, it's probably not a bad thing to have invested. And they're not like, it's not a plough is not an expensive thing to buy, so we could just buy one. We'll see how we go. We'll get this harvest done first, of course, because that's priority at the Mojo. I'm just wondering if it's like worth going around the outside one more time, and we could do. Lift this up. Drop it. Scabra. I'm just thinking, I don't know how much product our trailer can carry. If a load from the combine, how much that fills with? I think two combine loads fill the trailer, I think, or it's like 2.5 or 2.25 or something. I think. Fill it? I can't remember. 60%. Because the canola isn't really a particularly high yield crop. That said, the price is quite good. Whereas, say, for example, just a regular wheat crop, the yield you get generally is quite good, but the price per tonnage is average. Also, it's a bit like potatoes. You get a lot of potatoes off of a field, but like a lot of tonnage, but the price per tonnage is usually not that great. But anyway, we'll go along here. We'll just go around down this side and around bottom again, and then we might actually just unload this, so when we start doing the ups and downs, we are we're empty, so we can go as fast as we need to. This would be like an instance where another tractor would. What's going on down there? Cement trucks crashed into that car. Classic. Oh, it's a bit of a showdown. Who's going to move first? Obviously nobody. Is that truck a Volvo? Probably is. I don't know what sort of car that is. That little dummy. Might be an old Volvo, one of the old boxy ones. Like the, 850? Or something they were? That truck's a Volvo for sure. We'll get out and have a look. I'll just turn the harvester around, so just on this next row here. There we go. Right. What's going on here? Look at this. Whew. Oh, mate doesn't want to blink. It'd be good if I could get in these cars and move them. What's this, a Prius or something? He's got his indicator on. Does he have his hazards on? No. Ah, well, they're going to be there like that forever. Back in the harvester. Whoops, sorry, hitting the boom. Hitting the boom there. It's not very professional of me, is it? Ah, well, what do you expect? It's not like I'm a pro streamer. Right, well, I think we'll just park up the harvester here and, well, not park it up, but, get it ready to start going up and down the field. And we will... Whoop, I'm doing an AI. And we will... that. Right, we'll shut her off. We'll go get into the Fiat, so cover off. So the harvester was at 80% capacity. So. Yeah, that's higher. But there we go. Right, unload in here. I should have looked to see what the capacity, like as in how much. It'd have to be nearly empty for sure. Or maybe not. There we go. Oh, we'll close that up. We'll get out. I think we'll wrap it up. So next time we'll finish this harvest. And then we will probably lime the field. We might just hire. We might just lease a spreader that can do that. And I'm not sure what to do regarding the plough situation. If we should... because I think I'm going to get one of these subsoilers because the... sorry, just looking here. The width, 4 meters, that's 10 grand, right? If we go here to a plough, I mean, that's 13, so it's $3,000 more, and the width's only 2 meters. So the subsoiler is twice the width, and it's $3,000 less. At least if we get the Kuhn one, which we only need 130 horsepower for that. So our tractor will pull that. Our tractor will pull this Agrison one. I mean, it's $500 less, but we need 10 more horse. 10 more horse. It is. It's the same width. But I think this could be a goer. How wide's that? 3 meters, 7 grand. I think this could be a goer, and then we might get this. So what we can do is we can have this will go straight onto the tractor. So what will happen is this here will go straight onto the tractor, and it's got this hitch on the back. So then what we can do is we can put this onto the straight onto the back of the ripper. And of course, as I've said, it'd be nice if we had a tractor that had a front hitch. We could have bought this, which goes onto the back of the rotary tiller. But we need a front hitch on the tractor to have this on the front to take full advantage of that seed. But well, doesn't matter. It's something to look into for next time. Just looking at the other big gear. Yeah, anyway, so we'll finish this harvest. We'll lime this, we'll plough it, and we will put something else in. So I'm not sure what. Maybe what was in here before? Soybeans, maybe. Like oats, I think, are a decent crop. So we could put some oats in, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it, everybody, and yeah, yeah, I'll catch you next time.